Hey everyone, so I just had an interesting experience. So I just went and picked up uh, some cool stuff from someone that was selling some stuff locally. So you can see I got a XBR 960 manual, which I already had one, but this one's in better condition. Also got a S video cable for the N64, which also has composite video on it. So that'll be cool for testing both S video and composite at the same time. Seems like it's pretty high quality. And then I also got a XBR 960 remote. And yeah, and this one actually seems to be in better condition than the one I have as well. So yeah, it's overall pretty cool. But yeah, the guy I picked this stuff up from, yeah, really nice guy. But yeah, he said something I hadn't heard before, which I just kind of wanted to talk about a little bit. So he's also a big CRT enthusiast, and yeah, he said that one of the big differences between like digital flat screens like OLEDs or LCDs, especially LCDs and CRTs, is that the light that the pixels give off is artificial. And so you'll never get that true life looking image from a digital screen. So he gave the example of, for example, if you're watching Lord of the Rings, and there's a scene on there where there's fire on a digital screen, even like an OLED. He said the fire will look artificial, and it like the oranges and the reds won't pop out as much. Whereas if you compare that to like this XBR 960 CRT, it's the light gamut that the electron guns are producing that then light up the phosphors on the aperture grill is significantly, like, it's the full light gamut of the sun basically. So when you look at fire on a CRT, just as the example he gave, you just see more color to it. It looks like fire instead of just looking like an artificial LEDs being lit up basically. But anyway, and then he also talked about other stuff that I had heard and seen before in my own experiments, like motion blur and black levels and stuff like that, which is obviously definitely a big win for CRTs in most cases. But yeah, this is just something that I've always kind of wondered about, is what are the real benefits of CRTs compared to digital flat screens, especially like as you get into OLED. And this is maybe one of the best explanations that at least I've heard. I haven't heard this explanation for a while. I haven't ever heard this explanation before. I mean, I've heard the other ones and experienced the other ones, but yeah, there always just seemed like there was something else about CRTs that I just couldn't quite put my finger on, of why they look so vibrant and just are like an amazing experience. Even if the picture is a little smoother, and you don't get that 4K image from the from a CRT. There was always just something that I couldn't quite put my finger on, and I wasn't sure if it had to do with nostalgia or if it was something that was really unique to the CRT experience. And I mean, granted, I think nostalgia does have something to do with it, but now I think that he just explained to me what I've always just kind of was able to perceive but wasn't able to put words to it. So yeah, just having the full light gamut of like the sun, basically the light that comes off the sun, is what the CRT is producing, and so things will just look more real. And I actually, this is a video I've been wanting to do for a while, but I have a bunch of Sony displays. So I have like some LCD TVs, I have an OLED obviously, and then have a bunch of CRTs more than anything else. But I want to try to fit all of these displays, or at least a bunch of them, into a room and just play some content on them and just see, what does a PVM look like compared to a 1080 or not 1080, A80J OLED, Sony OLED, compared to like the 960 XBR 960 TV that I have, or even some of the computer monitors, the Trintron computer monitors, or the Shadow Mask computer monitors. But anyway, I think that'll be a future video. But I just wanted to make this quick, short little video here, just because my mind was kind of blown right now, where he kind of explained how those individual pixels from red, green, and blue pixels from a digital flat screen, like an OLED or an LCD. They're producing artificial light. It's not, naturally occurring light, and so it just will never quite look as good as a CRT. Really, really unfortunate they're not making those anymore, but maybe someday. But anyway, and another thing you said too was this is another thing that I've always been, worried about, I guess. But you hear about tubes going dim on these CRTs after a while, and he said that like the half-life is typically like 60,000 hours, and so he said, basically, like the XBR I have, the one I have was pretty well taken care of, and it was just sitting in the guy's basement for years and years, like 10 years, I think. So yeah, he said that basically that thing will last me forever unless I keep it on like 8 hours a day watching sports or whatever. But yeah, so anyway, I think that kind of settles my worries about having CRTs run out as well. Like, if I use a few hours a day at most, like, and actually that's only even on the weekends because just I'm like too busy to even turn on any of my CRTs. But when I do have time, it's maybe at most 1 or 2 hours that I have one of them on, and I have way too many, which I'll have to count. I actually have 2 more in the back of my car right now, 2 little 13-inch Panasonics that I just picked up from a school that was getting rid of them. But yeah. Anyway, that was another thing that he mentioned was, you don't really need to worry about these things, becoming dim, and like, just use them, enjoy them, and and if you are going to be, watching sports on them 8 hours a day, maybe look into an LCD, I guess. Kind of the same advice as OLEDs, but anyway, it was just a cool experience. Anyway, I just wanted to make this quick video here. Let me know what you guys think. Have you ever heard about that with the artificial light from digital flat panels compared to the full light gamut that are coming from the electron guns in a CRT? Have you ever heard that distinction before? I hadn't. It makes a lot of sense. So anyway, I'm going to be doing more research on that, and let me know anything else that you as your favorite part of CRTs, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.